Guys, we've got some more disappointing sneaker cancellations, an exciting collaboration between Lego and Nike that's long overdue, and a $1,500 New Balance retail. All of these stories and plenty more in this week's Sneaker Wrap. Hello everybody, it is me, Jordan Young, back with your weekly Sneaker Wrap news banger. Every Saturday I do these videos where we recap the biggest sneaker news stories from the past week, talk about some upcoming sneakers, and just have a gay old time with one another. If you guys want to keep up with me in real time, be sure to go over and give me a follow on IG and on TikTok. We're going to start off like we always do by talking about this week's biggest sneaker releases. First and foremost, we had the website release of the Air Jordan 3 Maniere. To a lot of people's surprise, these actually were sitting on the website for some time. I carted a pair I was going to check out, but because of the shipping as well as the customs duties to get these into the UK, I skipped out on these. But I did see a lot of you guys out there taking your dubs. Now, there is the Sneakers app release of these coming up this week, as well as the normal retailers who are going to be running raffles. So if you missed out on these, don't worry, you can still have another crack this week. Also had the New Balance 1906R CAYL collab, which dropped. The Klotz Adidas Gazelle collab. The Kobe 9 Elite Halo pack dropped in the form of the high tops and the low EMs. Had the New Balance 1906R Basement collab. Even these Drake Nike Hot Step 2s in the eggplant colorway dropped as well. I mean, it was a pretty hectic week. We even had the DMV foams, which is another collaboration or another semi-collaboration, given that the marketing campaign was fronted by Wale. That is long overdue. These also dropped as well. There was also the in-store release of the J-Tips collab on the Saucony Pro Grid Omni 9, which went down. And according to these videos, man, this release looks like it popped off big time. These shoes are looking pretty cool, and these are also set to come out more widespread this upcoming week. And today we had the Air Jordan 4 White Thunders. I was pretty happy to come up on these in a shock drop. These are also sitting in a few places here in the UK if you haven't already come up on a pair. So pretty busy week for sneaker releases. Did you guys come up on anything? Feel free to let me know. Rightio, let's get into the news. I want to start off with this story here because this is one of the biggest announcements of the week, or it could be, I don't know. Depends what really comes out of this, I suppose. But Nike and Lego have announced a multi-year partnership. And the only thing we have to go off at the moment is this video here, which looks pretty cool. And you guys might be thinking, haven't we seen these Lego sneakers before in the past? And you probably have, but they've been the concoctions of independent artists. It is true that Lego have teamed up with sneaker brands in the past, particularly Adidas on the Superstar, which you guys might remember. And that came out to a sort of mixed reception. As a display piece, as a collectible item, definitely pretty cool. But given the scope of this partnership being multi-year, it looks like these guys might be planning several different releases and several different types of releases. So this could be a pretty cool collaboration. I think it's a good move. I think all the independent artists out there that have been making a living doing this type of stuff in a knockoff type fashion in the past will probably be a little bit gutted. But what do you guys think of this collab? Is this a little bit too little too late, or are you happy to see it? Let me know. You guys might have seen this story doing the rounds earlier in the week. Pretty gutting for Penny Hardaway. He had 26 pairs of sneakers stolen from his home in some kind of porch piracy. I don't know, man. Maybe this guy knew where Penny lived and saw these boxes sat on the porch, decided to load them up onto his shopping trolley and then just casually walk away. But he's gotten away with a bit of loot here because these are some friends and family joints. As you can see from these pictures here, these are some exclusives. These aren't the type of shoes that are going to be made available to the public. And Penny has come out and basically just put it out there to the community to keep an eye on people trying to sell these. But given his look, it looks like he's the type of dude that would probably swiftly switch these out or swap these out for some cigarettes and maybe a couple of bottles of vodka. What do you guys think of this situation? This is pretty sad to see, but I guess this is the reason why people like PJ Tucker or any kind of high-level sneakerheads are not going to be in the business of doxing themselves. Let's talk about some Ye related news. Now, you guys probably saw a whole bunch more Yeezys slashed in price on various different websites around this past week. A lot of these shoes have been slashed in price up to like 70%, and given these shoes, you can understand why, man. Most of these models are crap and most of these colorways are ghastly. We've also seen the continuation of this story around Ye being hooked on the nos by his dentist, this guy Batista, who's basically trying to infiltrate his company and rip Ye off. All these allegations, according to a guy that's about as reliable as a flat tire, his former chief of staff, Milo Yiannopoulos. And if you guys wanted to check out the video that I made earlier on in this week talking about these salacious rumors, go ahead and click on the video above. But also, in addition to all of this, surface. These crazy videos have surfaced this week around these random people here purchasing heaps of items that have come from a Yeezys storage locker. They've shared these TikToks going through the contents of the storage locker that they've bought, and they include some pretty crazy things, man. You've got these flight cases full of audio equipment, electrical equipment, you've got different Yeezy samples, all these different clothing items that have come from previous fashion shows. It's a whole bunch of really crazy stuff, and a lot of it very, very valuable. They've even uncovered Yeezys' computer, which may or may not contain a whole bunch of interesting stuff on it. It's a pretty crazy find, and if you're wondering how did these guys come up on Yeezys' storage locker, well, if you don't pay for your monthly rental of the locker or your tri-monthly rental, whatever arrangement you have with the lockup company, then that stuff gets auctioned off. You guys have probably seen the famous shows out there where people pick up these storage lockers and bid on them and then resell the contents or whatever. These guys have done just that, and this dials in again to the story around Ye right now, where he's kind of off the wall a little bit, doesn't seem to have much control over his life, and so someone's not paying the bills at Yeezy LLC. His lockup's been bought, and these guys have seemingly come up on a bit of a gold mine. Right, let's talk about some rumors, some new rumors, some old rumors that have been cancelled. Apparently, today saw a small Kobe restock on the Nike sneakers app. Among the pairs seen to be restocked with these, the Kobe 6 Italian camo. Now, this is just a rumor, so any of you guys out there, particularly in the US, that maybe came up on this restock or maybe can speak to the validity of this rumor can let us know down below. The next rumor is that there are supposedly going to be 200,000 pairs of the Jordan 1 Low mochas. Now, these are supposed to come out, I think, here in the UK, maybe in this upcoming week. I'm yet to see confirmation on that, and I think they're releasing for you guys over there in the US next month. But if these guys are going to be releasing in huge numbers, that is good news, because this is obviously a very clean and very desirable colorway, and will probably be the first Jordan 1 Low in some time to sell out. I want to say I would be surprised to see these sitting. Next rumor is that the Travis Scott Jordan 1 Low, the shy pink colorway that was rumored to be releasing next year, has been cancelled. And this is a bit of an interesting one, because it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago we saw a sample pair of these on the feet of someone. There seems to be a little bit of credibility about these potentially coming out, but apparently the latest is it's not happening. Next up, the Jordan 3 Black Cement, supposedly coming out later on this year, are going to be very voluminous, plentiful, lots and lots of stock of these apparently. November 23rd, the release dates, and maybe they're going to do to this release what they did to the White Cement release from last year. Make these available, make these easy to cop. That would be great. Even though my 2017 pair is still in good nick, I would be tempted to double up because this is one of the best Jordans of all time. Another one for the rumor mill is Nike SB and Carhartt are supposed to be teaming up once again. Now, we don't have any mock-ups, don't have any color codes or SKUs to go off. We are just hearing rumors that it's something that's going to happen soon, so keep an eye out. I'll keep you guys updated with this story here, but this could be cool. Supreme got back into it this week with their first release for the fall winter season. Had the Tyler the Creator shirts, which I think was probably the most popular item, and we also had a chance to look at the lookbook, which gives us a look ahead to some of the items we can look forward to this season. And some of the accessories are pretty crazy. Among them is this sort of gym setup, which is pretty cool. You can get your flex on in multiple ways. It's also a saxophone, as well as this bike, which looks pretty cool. And one of the things that they seem to be doing this season is going back into the vaults and revivifying some of their old school classics. In particular, some pieces featuring the likes of Kate Moss. The box logo stuff looks okay. I mean, I'm not really that bowled over by what I've seen. I do feel like Supreme continues to be a little bit washed. Some okay looking pieces in there for sure. I think some of the stuff, as usual, is going to be quite popular, but yeah, a little bit underwhelming. All right, let's get into some new sneaker announcements, some new looks, some official images, all of that good stuff. I want to start off with this crazy story here. New Balance are going to be releasing a $1,500 sneaker. Now, when this story first landed earlier on in the week, most people were reporting that this sneaker was going to cost $1,000, and that had everybody smacking their foreheads and having their mouths agape. But since that first story broke, Complex have followed up and revealed that the cost of the sneaker is actually going to be $1,500. So now everyone's really losing it. And it's a collaboration with Loro Piana. And if you don't know who Loro Piana is, it's a Italian luxury fashion brand. They specialize in things like undyed pecora nera wool, which is this very high quality wool. It comes from sheep that are grown in the mountains and fed on nothing but high quality wine. No, I'm only joking, I really don't know. But anyways, they're using these undyed natural wool fibers. They're putting them all together by hand. They feature the same fuel cell technology. It's the 990 V6. You can see here some of the cutouts, and you can see here some of the assembly process. Look, it's a nice looking sneaker. It's obviously a very high quality sneaker. These will still, I'm sure, sell out because people that are into this high-end fashion designer stuff are all over this type of stuff. But would I go for them personally? I don't think so. What about you? We've had a detailed look at one of next month's most exciting releases, at least if you're into your Air Max 1s. And this is the Air Max 1 Chlorophyl, the patta collab. You guys remember when this sneaker first came out? It was a really hot commodity. Over the years, pairs of these have been reselling for crazy money. If you're out there and you paid a whole bunch of money for these, you'll probably be dying a little bit inside, although I'm sure part of you is probably excited about having the chance to cop a new pair. And when I saw this update on the page, I was really excited to get some really exciting detailed new looks, but we've only got one image to go off, which is a little bit crap. But here it is, and it looks pretty nice. Another exciting release for next month is the Nike Air 180, the inverted. Now this is supposed to be the inversion of the ultramarine, but it doesn't really invert the colors particularly. In fact, it doesn't even feature any of the colors, so I don't know how the inversion is supposed to work here, but it is nonetheless a nice colorway. It does have the sort of ultramarine green or blue going down the back there. It's a darker silhouette, meaning unlike the ultramarines and the Concords that recently released, these are actually going to last more than 1 or 2 wears. So I think these are looking pretty cool. It is good to see the 180 come back. We've had some detailed looks at a pretty exciting collab that's supposed to be coming out pretty soon, actually. Some people might think that this collab is long overdue, and because it's so long overdue, maybe it's a little bit late to the party, but it's the collab between Nike and Nigo on the Air Force 3. We saw these on the feed of the bro a few months ago, I think. Maybe it was during Paris Fashion Week or something like that, and the initial reception was pretty warm. Now we've got some updated images and they're looking cool, man. It's a dope model, something that we haven't really seen much of in the recent past. Obviously it's got the basketball inspiration, he's got some different colored paneling, and he's used some patent leather which kind of have a bit of a throwback about them to maybe his early days with Bape. They've got a whole marketing campaign, the can't put Nigo in a box. It's a pretty cool looking collab. Some people have commented, hang on a sec, didn't Nike just recently sue Nigo? But don't forget, Nigo actually sold Bape back in like 2011 or something like that, and it's actually been since 2011 that Bape have been drawing the ire of Nike due to their incursion particularly into the US market and the creation of other models that look a lot like Nike products. So yeah, I think they're cool, man. These are getting slated by a lot of people. I'm seeing a lot of people hate on these, but I think they're really cool. What do you guys think? But a detailed look at the Nicole House Nike SB Dunk Low. And sneakerheads are funny, man, because rather than critiquing the shoes for how they look and maybe coming up with some interesting observations as to how the shoes tie in to the collaborator, all people seem to be talking about is how she's squatting down here, creasing them up. It's so funny. They do look pretty cool, if not a little bit basic. I think if they didn't have this little chain that sort of hangs off the eyelet and flicks around to the back a little bit like a wallet or a keychain or something like that, they'd be a little bit boring. But with the little attachments, they do kind of have a bit of swag about them. So yeah, they're a bit plain, they're a little bit simple, they may be a little bit boring, but I do think they are, with this keychain thing anyway, pretty cool. I've had some more announcements for some exciting members of the 2025 sneaker lineup, including the Air Jordan 5 Burgundy Crush, maniere, and the renderings or the mock-ups that we've got to go off here have these looking a little bit like a home version of the dark Burgundy Crush maniere 5 we had last year, which I think is right up there in terms of maniere collabs. This would be a cool shoe to see. We've also had a confirmation that we're going to be getting the Air Jordan 12 French Blue in the fall of 2025 as well, which is an elite colorway of the Air Jordan 12 model. Also announced for 2025 are another pair of AE1 lows, which are called the PE to retail, which is something I wish Nike would do more of, man. I wish they would give us some PEs or give us more PEs as retail or GRs. These are pretty fire, man. These are definitely pretty out there. Got this whole crazy psychedelic colorway about them. Definitely the type of pair that will stand out on court. And this is an interesting intention here from Adidas. They seem to be looking to continue to eke out the success of the AE1, which is fair enough, I suppose. Had some official images of the Air Jordan 5 El Grito. This is a sneaker that is inspired by Mexican culture and Mexican architecture, and these look pretty cool, man. These are dropping next month, $210. I think if you do have Mexican heritage, these are probably going to be a bit of a no-brainer. It is a nice colorway, is a nice color scheme. I do see these sitting though, to be honest. A couple of black sneakers to talk about. First of all, we've had an official look at Nike's darkest black Air Force One, the Vanta Black, which are going to be dropping this holiday season. And if you don't know what Vanta Black is, it's supposed to be like blacker than black, or the blackest black you can possibly get. So you can imagine the type of nefarious and clandestine operational activity you could get up to while wearing these bad boys, man. They do look pretty cool, man. They do look like they come with a pretty decent type of quality about them. And that's not the only black sneaker we've had a cheeky look at. We've also had some official images of the Jordan 4 RM Black Cats. These are supposed to be coming out in the holiday season, and I think of all the RMs, if you were to put your money on one of them selling out, it would probably be this pair right here. These are cool. Man, you know the season's changing when shoes like these are starting to jump onto the radar. This is a Vomero 5 that has been given like a hiking boot type makeover, and these are going to be dropping this fall. There's also another shoe quite similar that we're going to talk about in a second, but what I see here is Nike kind of reacting to this UGG type trend, or this overshoe type trend, or this trend where you have the shoe and then you have this outer rubber casing around the bottom of the shoe that is supposed to protect it and give it that more durable, wearable vibe to it. And they've done it here on the Vomero, which I think look pretty cool. To be fair, they do look like they would be pretty handy for wearing in the rain or wearing outdoors or hiking in. And they've also done it here on the Nike Blazer Mid. Rome is what they're calling it. These are also coming out later on this year in the holiday season. And again, you can see the blazer upper, and then right around the bottom you've got this sort of UGG type attachment with this rubberized, reinforced, very grippy type outsole. And they do look cool. They do look like they would be really good for hiking, but this to me is more reactionary stuff from Nike. Right, before we move on to this week's most exciting upcoming sneaker releases, let's finish off with a couple of stories, including this heartwarming story here. This teacher gave her class over 100+ pairs of Air Forces, and here she can be seen sat on the back of the truck holding a pair of the low tops with a Montclair jersey on. One of the things that caught me off guard with this story is how much money is this teacher making, man? Like, that's a lot of money to throw at some Air Force Ones to just give them away. Like, good on her, like, fair play. Wish I had a teacher like that back in the day that would hook me up with some brand new Air Force Ones. But yeah, given her fit, given the generosity, I'm wondering how much she's making or what she's doing off to the side. Little update with the Batman Crocs that are coming out next month. September the 16th is the release dates. I personally think these are some of the coolest Crocs that have come out to date, mainly because I'm a huge fan of the Batman movie wherein this Batmobile featured, the Michael Keaton version. Don't hate on me, I think that first Batman with Michael Keaton, bro, elite. And we've had our first look at the Cavestone Air Jordan 4, which are releasing in the fall of 2025. Nice looking colorway, kind of similar a little bit to the wet cements. I mean, the gray tones, the stone tones, yeah, I don't know, they do look nice, particularly offset with the white midsole on the back portion. But I'm sort of wondering why they don't just give us what we want, man. We need another Travis Jordan 4, man. Like, take one of those Travis 4 colorways out of the friends and family and give them to us. Right, let's talk about some upcoming sneakers this week you might want to keep your eyes peeled for. Obviously, you've got the wider release of the maniere Air Jordan 3s. If you haven't yet jumped into all the available raffles via your normal retailers, you'll probably want to keep an eye on them now, because some of them will be closing up in the next few days. But these are dropping on August the 27th. The following day, August the 28th, you've got the Air Jordan 17 Low Carolina. You guys remember how hyped and how fast the Thunders flew, or the Lightnings flew, sorry, earlier this year. These could probably do the same, because this is a fire colorway coming out with the briefcase. There are retailers running raffles for these right now, including maniere I saw. So again, jump into the raffles for these if you're feeling them. August the 28th as well, you've got the J-Tips Saucony Pro Grid Omni 9. Keep an eye on the Saucony websites. Keep an eye on your normal retailers for raffles on those. 29th of August, the Carnival Asics GT 2160. Same day, August the 29th, you've got the Nike SB Dunk Low Alexis Sablon. This is the pack. I think these are going to be really limited, very hard to get your hands on. And then on August the 30th, one of the coolest releases of the month, the Nike Air Tech Challenge 2 in the Hot Lava colorway. Pretty good week, few bangers there. What are you guys going for? Feel free to let me know. And that is it for this week's sneaker wrap. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch the video. As always, don't forget to hit the like button before you bounce, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and go and follow me on IG and on TikTok where I'm uploading videos on the daily. Take care for now, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.